Kirby, obviously, a lot of quarterbacks go in the transfer portal these days. How hard is it to keep talented guys like Carson and Brock around when so many guys want to go right away?
I don't think it's hard. I mean, I think you be very fair and honest, and they have to make decisions based on what's best for them and what's best for the program, what's best for the team. I'm here to protect University of Georgia. My job is to develop those young men. That's what we promised them to do. And Coach Monken, our staff, I mean, there's not a lot of places you can go that you can play for a offensive coordinator that coach quarterbacks in the NFL. He coached receivers in the NFL. I mean, every kid wants to go to the NFL. So I've never had a scout come ask me how many plays or how many reps he got as freshman, sophomore, junior year. They want to know what the finished product is. So the end game is the goal, and if guys want to stay and be a part of that, be part of something special, then great.
Kirby, I want to ask you about one of the younger guys, Bear Alexander. Obviously, he missed spring. What have you seen from him as he's going through his first fall?
Continuing to grow. He's got to continue to grow in terms of understanding our defense. You know, he had a shoulder surgery, and he's got to be more consistent in his approach to day-to-day work. You know, he flashes, but then he, has a play where he doesn't give a great effort, and it's very similar to every freshman. So every freshman's in a different situation because of our depth chart, but they're all similar. They're very inconsistent. There's not a freshman out there that's just been a model of consistency. That's not to be expected. What is to be expected is to give great effort, great toughness, and that's what we're trying to get with all our freshmen.
Kirby, concerning your young wideouts, I know you had some good things to say about Dylan Bell during camp, but Denylin, Dylan, C.J. Smith, where are those guys at now that you've kind of gotten into the season, and where do they function with at practice? Scouts, or are they getting reps? How does that work for them?
Yeah, they do a little of both. All two of those guys were injured. So Denylin missed almost all of camp. C.J. Smith missed all of camp, and both of them have started to come on. I'm riding them really hard because I have high expectations for them, and they can help us. They each have really good attributes, and they're both really want to help our team. They're great young men. I mean, I'm talking about like they do everything right off the field. They do what they're supposed to do. They work really hard. Dylan has gotten a lot of reps and should be able to help us. It's probably further along than those two only because he has not been injured. But CJ, he hit some high numbers on GPS recently. We're trying to bring him back slowly because he's had some knee issues, and then Denylin has had a couple good practices. So we need to bring those guys along to get the depth we need to support our offense.
Yeah, Kirby, I guess following up on those receivers, how helpful do you think it has been to have guys like AD and Ladd who have gone through a similar thing, coming in and having to earn that playing time? Ladd was on the scout team and things like that.
Well, I think it helps them, but our depth, they bypass that. And AD and Ladd aren't like veteran guys. They're 1 year guys, and there really is very little upper leadership at that position. I mean, Marcus does a tremendous job leading that room. Kieras sets a great example. Dom's been away and back, so it's just it's a different kind of room in terms of the experience level. But I am excited about those young guys and what they can do if they learn the system.
Kirby, based on what you said about the practice being disappointed, what specifically was it that let you down today or yesterday?
Just energy, enthusiasm. Yesterday was great. I mean, yesterday was as good as we've had. Like I said, we were flying around, competing, did a lot of good drills. And then today, it kind of dragged from the beginning. It wasn't the tempo that I expect. And we talk about playing to a standard. Like there's a standard at Georgia, and the number one thing you do at our place is you go out on Tuesday and you practice really physical if you're going to be any good. And we tried to practice physical. We had some guys just didn't bring their own juice today, and they need to do that tomorrow.